Hello DOTA2 fans and welcome! This is Chicago Ted bringing to you CEVO Season 6, Week 2, Day 2. That's right, Day 1 was yesterday, but all the games rescheduled from that day. The only one left was really late at
Dyer's
night,
bad.
so that day we're just going to forget about it. Only the week officially starts for casting today, so we're going to bring you all the action, all the games that got rescheduled. Whreck versus Teamwork was one of them, and that'll be our first game of the day. So,
10
yeah,
seconds to go.
technically we're starting on day one, so we're already into the drafting phase. We'll bring you
Radiant's
guys
banned.
into that. Again, I'm Chicago Ted. I'm your host. Solo cast for now. We may be seeing some people join in later on in the day to help with this endeavor, but for now, we are going to
Someone's
have to
dropped out
deal
like a kid
with
in
the
school.
vocal
10
killing
seconds to
solo
go.
casts. And, well, excited to be here, though. Nonetheless,
5
we got a
seconds.
long day ahead of us. Whreck versus Teamwork. This is our first game. Up next is Union versus
Reserve
EHOG.
time.
And then together we did it versus Team
Looks
Marino,
like
Me
we
Marino.
lost one.
And if that wasn't enough, Fail QQ versus Scotty doesn't know. And those are happening at about an hour and 15-minute intervals. So, yeah, plenty of Dota action going to be coming up throughout the night and should be going on pretty late into the night. If you guys are staying up studying for your finals and just want some background noise, well, I'm your guy. I'm the one. If you're done with finals and already home for the holidays, well, happy holidays to you all. Hope you have a great one at that. And we'll be here all week bringing you this amazing NA/SA Dota. So, what next? Oh, yeah, the ticket. That is going to be coming out pretty soon. I think we had it confirmed for December 17th. I think that is all set in stone. So that will be coming on very soon, and you can start picking at that as soon as that comes out. That's right. 2 days from now, I think. What do we got? Yeah, 2 days from now. It is directly parallel with the release of The Hobbit. Coincidence? I think not. Okay, maybe yeah, it's a coincidence, but no matter. So, yeah, keep an eye on the store for that one. I'll link it to Join Dota as soon as possible. You can find that on each of the match pages, and we'll also be able to watch in game from that point on. Get your chance if we get enough viewers for some item drops. Hopefully, we can gain that. I'm pretty sure we're gaining some visibility here in CEVO. We've had some pretty nice broadcasts recently. I think we've hit up to. I don't know. I think we've
10
gotten
seconds
to
to go.
700 was the highest we got, and looking to
5
break that
seconds.
1,000 threshold with Join Dota alone. Maybe if we can get some games on
Someone's
Dota 2
having
Lounge,
technical
we'll go
difficulties.
even further. So I
Dyer's
have to check in
banned.
on the teams really quick because it looks like ooh. Oh, okay. Yep. I goofed. We're gonna have to do something different here. Give me a sec. All right, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and remake. That was my bad. I mistook which one got first pick. Wow, I'm an idiot. All right, so hopefully we don't have to deal with any of that. Actually, no, it wasn't my fault, guys. It wasn't my fault. It was totally team's fault. I'm infallible. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and wait for the other guys to go in and join this game. But at the moment, we'll see if everyone can get into this one, as it looks like, yes, we got a statsman for the night. Hell yeah. So at Cart Dota will be our statsman for the night. He's going to be joining us. And it looks like we're ready to go. Just making sure we're all set up with the teams. All right. Yeah, it looks like we're all good. Very nice. Okay. So we are all ready to go. Whew. That was fun. All right, so we're back, ready to go, in game. And, yeah, so sorry for the remake. As, again, I am infallible. It was the Cosmos up against me this time. Yeah, so. Anyway, we're going back and ready to go. Jeez, I went through all of my intro for this, and now I'm going to have to deal with having nothing to say for the beginning of this. Okay, well, we're all connected in the game. We're going to be hitting on into the drafting phase officially this time. Ready to go. That was fun.
Radiance band.
All right, so we're going to start out with the bands this time. My God. It's going to be Whreck while whistling, getting first pick. So first band goes Faceless
Radiance
Void off
band.
first. Brewmaster taken out by Black Sheep. Elder Titan going to see some hate
Dyer's
from
band.
Whreck and Black Sheep. Well, they do. Their lineup, by the way, is really, really, really fucking crazy. Like, excuse my French. That means seal, by the way. So it's really sealy crazy. This is a star-studded lineup
Radiance
at its
pick.
best, and we're going to be seeing some great play. I mean, Fan of Soyon and his crew, Goody and his crew, rather, are a
Dyer's
incredibly skilled team. But we're going to have to see if they have what it takes to deal with this. Of course, Ringers, you can say what you want about them. I mean, everyone is allowed, or CEVO, it is allowed to change your roster as long as the roster is there and checks in for the game. They're good, so you can have as many roster changes as you want. Once the playoffs happen, that's when rosters lock, and you can't have anyone outside of your roster come and join.
5
So you must
seconds.
play with the same people, which is where a lot of the balance comes from. All of these teams,
Reserve
I think,
time.
should go to the playoffs, so there really is no worries here, but this is going to be a true testament to whether or not Whreck while whistling can actually field a decisive win versus an incredibly, incredibly skilled team. So we'll have to see. They're going to start it out with the Omni-Knight pick, which starts pretty promising. This guy gives a lot of utilization, to your team. I mean, he's got great spells, a heal, a magic resistance. The Degen aura is also really fun in lane, especially if you go for the semi-carry Omni-Knight. Don't see that too often in the pro scene, but it's still there. And Guardian Angel is incredibly good as well. But
Dyer's
Black
pick.
Sheep, now that they know Guardian Angel is out, they can start to try to
Radiant's
draft
pick.
around that. Maybe pick up a natural Diffusal Blade Carrier and some magic damage. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Initially, Tidehunter and Vengeful
Radiant's
Spear giving them
banned.
some great AoE magic from the Tide, AoE stun, and also a really good laning stun from the Vengeful Spirit.
Dyer's
Shadow Fiend going to be the
banned.
pick from Whreck, though. That's a bit of an interesting one, but definitely can be a strong laner if you start out strong. And, you know, we haven't seen Shadow Fiend come out too often recently. I think he started to see a little bit of
10
lack of
seconds to
play
go.
because he's not very mobile. His auto attack damage is a
5
lot
seconds.
dependent on whether or not he can actually get last hits in lane, which, I mean, these guys, they're more than skilled enough to do that. And he's more or less snowballing at
banned.
its best. And if he can't quite get that space, he does have somewhat of a comeback mechanic, being able to farm the jungle relatively quickly. But aside from that, I mean, playing from behind with this guy is never, never too much fun. And now, I mean, with the
10
Vengeful Spirit, it's going
seconds
to be a
to
little
go.
bit more difficult. The minus armor is certainly not something that you want to have to deal with
5
as a Shadow
seconds.
Fiend. Very squishy without that armor. And the Tidehunter, he's going to have to buy himself a BKB.
Reserve time.
Maybe he relies on the repel through this game, and that'll help field him through the team fights and make sure that he doesn't
Dyer's
go
banned.
down to these mass magic stuns. But, I mean, it comes down to execution, whether or not Whreck, if they do rely on that repel, if the Omni-Knight can get the repel on the Shadow Fiend, and whether or not Black Sheep can actually get a
10
decent
seconds to go.
initiation off. Many times you see the Tidehunter just not be able to find
5
those big
seconds.
ultimates. But from my sources, it looks like we may have a very good Tidehunter on this team. Space is here, and a lot of people
Dyer's
say this
pick.
is Universe. I think I've seen him before, and it wasn't Universe, but, you know, I could be wrong. So you never know. PA will get banned out, maybe just because of the PA Omni Knight, but mostly because she does get picked up a lot and is incredibly strong. The minus armor from Omni Knight would also do nothing but help her. And Viper getting banned out as well from Black Sheep. Storm Spirit and Medusa
10
seeing some hate
seconds to
from
go.
Whreck as we head into the second pick phase. Notable
5
heroes
seconds.
still in the pool. We still have a Skywrath available, which paired with Tidehunter is very strong. Legion Commander also
Reserve time.
can go fairly well with this combo. Earthshaker still available. Not as common as a pick nowadays, but again, we're talking about stuff that goes pretty well with the Tide. And Visage will be the
Radiant's
pick
pick.
from Black Sheep. So they've got the Venge Visage combo, which with the minus armor from the Venge, the birds as well, this almost kind of screams maybe they go for Drow. I see teams like EG going ahead and grabbing that Drow as a last pick when you pick up a lineup like this, and I could see them do that. Whreck, they do not have the option. They can't ban it
10
out right now.
seconds
If
to go.
Black Sheep want to go for the fourth pick, Drow, then
5
it is
seconds.
wide open unless Whreck pick it, which isn't really advisable
Reserve
at the
time.
moment, though. Could still work if she can pick up a BKB, or again, they rely on the repel for that, but we'll have to take a look and see whether or not they want to do that. They're going to go just for the Lion. So anticipating the Drow a
Dyer's
little
pick.
bit, Lion would be able to clean her up really quickly. But overall, Lion just offers a lot when it comes down to the lane and when it comes down to the end game in general. So we'll see whether that actually comes into play or if the Lion ends up feeding. I don't think so. The Lion is a really strong laner and will be able to zone out the Tidehunter rather effectively. Usually with the Impale plus the Mana Drain,
10
you
seconds
can
to
just
go.
take away all his mana and he won't be able to use his spells at all. And yeah, Black Sheep, we knew it was
Radiant's
coming.
pick.
That lineup screamed it. They're going to go with the Drow Ranger. So plenty of right click coming out. The only thing that kind of worries me is the Omni Knight pick here. If they can get a really quick Guardian Angel out in this game and maybe an Aghanim Scepter, then this lineup from Black Sheep all of a sudden becomes less of a problem. Again, they will have to go for a Diffusal Blade if they want to really make an impact in this
Dyer's
game.
ban.
Because if he gets the Guardian Angel onto 4, then you essentially rend 3 of their heroes pretty much useless. Maybe not Vengeful Spirit, as she does have a
Radiant's
lot of
ban.
use from her stun, and swap, but mostly everything else, the Visage with his birds, the Drow Ranger's regular right click, even the Soul Assumption will rely on them being able to get that right click off. So we'll
10
have to see,
seconds to
again,
go.
which team is able to execute a little bit better. It does just come down to
5
raw
seconds.
execution, which team can field the better items quicker and which can't. Of course,
Reserve
Diffusal Blade
time.
may end up being a really strong pick here for the Wraith King. The mana burn does help
Dyer's
get rid of his
pick.
mana, but not many other options are available. I think this is where Black Sheep would go for something like the Invoker, just because they want something like an EMP to get rid of all of this spell casting from Whreck. As I mean, Lion Omni Knight have decent mana pools, but Wraith King and Shadow Fiend, they kind of suffer in that department. So even Omni Knight earlier on in the game has a little bit of
10
trouble.
seconds
So
to go.
I wonder if they're going to go that direction. Maybe go for this
5 seconds.
Cross-Wex Invoker and drop the EMP into all of them. They have plenty of time. A minute in reserve. They just use up their regulars.
Reserve
So
time.
I don't know. They're going to go ahead. They banned out the Ember Spirit before this, so figuring Whreck are going to go for this 4-man barrel down, group them up, and then have the Ember Spirit clean up. TA was banned out by Whreck, though, and possibly to get rid of that extra right click. Definitely, as well as the meld strike coming out from TA, ends up being very difficult to deal with. And her Silent Traps, which make kiting Black Sheep incredibly difficult, even more so, since they've got a lot of slow, a lot of stun. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. Razor going to be picked up by Black Sheep, has made it all the
Radiant's
way
pick.
through to the final ban. That is really surprising. A big juxtaposition to only about a month ago when he was first pick, first ban all the damn time. Not even a month, probably more than a month, but he does benefit from from this aura from Drow Ranger because he is a ranged hero, even though he does have that kind of melee-looking thing where he
10
flashes the
seconds to
whip out.
go.
It is indeed ranged, so
5
there
seconds.
will be that. Benefiting greatly already a very difficult hero to deal with. And Wheel Wreck
Reserve
while
time.
whistling, they've got they've got a little bit of lockdown, a little bit of damage. Could be going for this, well, they can't really be going for the Lion, the Wraith King support. They've got Omni Knight Lion. A core Omni Knight would be a very risky thing to do. Again, PA was already taken out, so that is not available. Maybe they go for something more all around, grab like a Luna, but whatever they do is going to have to go up against this very, very, very powerful lineup from Black Sheep. Go in, get all of your damage stolen, get minus armored out the wazoo, and they're just going to go for the Beastmaster. So this may be, no, I don't know. Are they going to run dual lanes? They don't give up a lot. What I imagine is the mid Shadow Fiend, but I mean, you don't have to run Shadow Fiend mid. Beastmaster can be run mid, or he could be run off lane. Maybe he stacks up some Ancients, and you run Omni, Lion, Wraith King as a tri-lane, either aggressive or safe lane. Maybe they just run an Omni Knight, Lion, Wraith King as an aggressive tri-lane, run the Shadow Fiend in the safe lane, and then put Beastmaster mid. But that would be very difficult in and of itself, because Beastmaster might have trouble with Razor. Maybe he goes for the boar pretty quickly on to get some slows out onto the Razor. Those would be quite pivotal, but we'll have to see. We are in the game, ready to go. Switch the overlays, and yep, Chicago Ted bringing to you CEVO Season 6, Week 2, Day 2 matchup between Wheel Wreck while whistling and Teamwork makes the
And
dream
we're
work.
back.
Going under the Black Sheep tag for this game. Not sure why, but to start out the lineups, we've got I Annihilate on the Razor in the mid. Big Bad Bird will be on the Vengeful Spirit. Bloody Nine is going to be on the Visage, with Monkeys Forever on the Drow Ranger, and Space, perhaps Universe, on the Tide Hunter. Taking a look at the other side, it is going to be Fan of Soyan, better known as Goody, playing the Omni Knight. Derp Derp will be on the Lion, with Root Gaming on the Wraith King. In mid, we've got Lincoln's Repeater playing Shadow
30
Fiend,
seconds to
and
go.
I'm a Sheep Sucks will be the Beast Master. And, well, this is an Arcana Shadow Fiend. So take a look at the right side of your screen. That, again, I am being joined by a Statsman for the evening. Huge thanks to DOTA2 for joining us. Only was able to get in because of the remake, so maybe it was on purpose, maybe not. We'll never know. But what we do know
The game is on.
we've got a great game going on right now. This is going to be an uphill battle for Wheel Wreck while whistling, simply
High hopes
based
for this one.
on the team lineups. But if there's any team that I have faith in pulling through, it is them. An early Invis rune being spotted out by Derp Derp. A huge rune to have first right now. Invis gives you so much potential to get that early level 1 gank off. And, well, first of all, he's going to go ahead and block this Ancient Camp right now. Does he ward it? It's a tough call. Usually spending an Observer Ward on that in the early game, typically people want to get that extra vision, and it looks like he's going to go for that. Actually going on the backstab for a space here. Killing him is going to be rather difficult, but with Impale or with Earth Spike, they're going to have a fairly lengthy stun to start it out, and Wraithfire Blast is also a great stun with a slow attached. Taking a look at the top lane, I'm a Sheep Sucks versus a Big Bad Bird. It looks like I'm a Sheep Sucks getting harassed out just a little bit, but he should be able to stay fairly close. A very tanky hero, 587 base HP with 4 armor. He's got no real trouble so far, as he is finding some semblance of experience. Link is Repeater meanwhile in the mid lane, looking to try to harass on the I Annihilate, and his last hitting isn't exceptional right now. He is dropping 3 to Razor I Annihilate, and that's only just because Shadow Fiend starts out really, really weak in terms of the last hitting department. Only has 47 damage Space looking to turn on to Derp here, testing his limits. He's got an Anchor Smash, but not going to use it. Instead, going to go straight for the right click, 57 damage on that. And Derp going to have to back himself away with a relatively low HP pool. This tri-lane struggling just a little bit now. They do have Purify on their side, so if they ever feel like things are looking a little bit rough, they can turn it in an instant. A Purify at point blank range would end up completely tearing through this Tidehunter's HP pool. Bounty Rune on Imashif sucks. There's a Haste Rune spawn in the bottom lane, so whoever gets this may have a really fun time, but we'll have to see which team decides to spot it out, as our bottle going to be coming out for I Annihilate. 2.5 minutes, looking pretty good. Already out for Linkage Repeater, though, and he's going to be using those raises to get a couple of extra last hits. I got 5 stacks, 6 now on his Necromastery, so he's now up to 60 damage, and his last hitting should be a lot better now. Big Bad Bird only getting hit by one of those axes. Not too great. And Bloody 9 going to make his way up and start to stack these Ancients for space. Very nice. Who did end up getting that Haste Rune, by the way? Looking at level 4 to I'm a Sheep Sucks' level 2. Already doing much, much better in this game. Yes, this is Relic, by the way. Linkage Repeater is Relic. I usually call by the name that they've got noted on their person. It's typically a lot easier for me in the heat of the moment, but yeah, that is going to be Relic. I still can't decide whether or not this is our guy, but I won't dwell on it too much. So, gonna take a quick look around the map. And so far, not too much in the way of stacking coming out. A couple of unlucky Mud Golem camps already spawning on the side of Whreck, so not going to be able to have too much fun with those until Shadow Fiend's auto attack damage starts getting really scary. Right now, he just has to rely on his raise to farm. The Ancient's already starting to be stacked, though, on the other side, and a couple camps look like they're going to be the target of Bloody 9 as well, so he's doing a good job at making sure these camps remain stacked. A nice D-ward, by the way. I don't know if they had actually blocked it or not, but whether or not they did, it is unblocked now. DJ Aura up onto space. He's not going to be able to get that rune. Such a pesky Omni Knight. And, ooh, this is...
What's with all the scribbling?
That's just unfortunate. The Ancient camp blocked on the side of Whreck means that I'm a Sheep Sucks cannot stack that. Looks like he's setting the board down. It doesn't have enough time anyway, even if he did want to stack it. So he's scouting it out, though, realizes that it's warded. Maybe they go for the D-ward fairly soon. For now, though, they're going to have to wait on that. Ancient farming is really one of the key things that I think I'm a Sheep Sucks wanted to be able to do in this game, as even Tidehunter's having a much better lane than him. And he's not going to... And he's going to be able to farm his Ancients, whereas I'm a Sheep Sucks... Terrible lane, and very, very poor ability to come back from that. So we might start seeing the effects of that come out very soon, as a 3-man gank looks to be happening in the mid lane. Linkage Repeater positioned fairly far back, but as of right now, not invulnerable. If they get that magic missile off, it's over, but he gets away from it. I would imagine maybe Bloody 9 would be the better one to initiate. Go ahead and around and get the slow off to guarantee the magic missile, but this does grant I'm a Sheep Sucks some time to go ahead and try to farm the wave, but the sheer right click coming out from Monkeys Forever already dealing 130, nearly 140 damage. He is getting really, really far ahead. Not opting for the double Wraithband build, instead going straight for the Agi Treads. His Big Bad Bird going for the backstab again, and he's going to find Linkage Repeater, who walks away, is just kind of moseying around for the time being. But all in all, avoids the gank. I'm a Sheep Sucks, a very tanky hero with high armor, but he still just gets chunked down by this Drow Ranger. And closing the distance is not something that he can do too easily. As, I mean, he's going to have to get something like a blink if he wants to be able to do that. Looking already at the Soul Ring, but that only helps him Ancient, which, again, is blocked by this ward that goes away in 3 seconds. So he'll start to be able to stack it from the 7th minute on. But they're already far behind the stacks coming out from the from Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. Lincoln's Repeater trying to man fight a little bit of damage, but he will be first blood as I Annihilate steals 126 damage. And now Salve and Bottle. He's already back up to full, and Relic takes the first fall of the game. Meanwhile, in terms of last hitting, things are looking very scary if you're on Whreck. They're falling behind in almost every department. The Drow Ranger at 49, hitting up to 50 at 7 minutes, looking very close to perfect. We saw he just missed one, actually, which is rather unfortunate, but looking very close to perfect last hitting. Definitely something that favors this Drow in the game. The more last hits, the more gold, the more items, the better damage his team ends up doing. So, Soul Ring finished on the Beastmaster. He should be able to farm and stack nations from this point on, but it's going to be very difficult with his top tier 2 going, top tier 1 going down, as all of this entire area just gets forfeited without the proper reward control to give you some semblance of map vision. But looking across the map again, Wraith King, Root Gaming, he's sitting on a Hand of Midas, so not terribly farmed. Only 40 last hits, but he is third highest in the last hit chart and the highest on his team. Derp, meanwhile, has enough money for boots, finally getting that last hit that Root let him get. Now Magic Missile comes out on the Root. He does have a Reincarnate. I don't think he wants to spend it right now, but Space is going to pop a Ravage, will use that Ravage to get the Reincarnate popped off. Derp not dead yet. And Space doesn't have enough for Gush and won't be able to get out. But Root Gaming is in a lot of trouble right now. Do they have the damage? They do, with a Wave of Terror to fly out. Meanwhile, Shadow Fiend comes from behind and cleans up with a triple kill. Now looking for more. He's going to cancel his TP. The Static Link goes down. Now turns around. I Annihilate could be in a lot of trouble. They're going to pop out the Earth Spike, and they get him. Ultra kill at 8.5 minutes, going the way of Relic. Very, very nicely played coming out from this Shadow Fiend. The Arcana doing work, and that is not only an ultra kill, giving 4 to Relic.
Guess what's happening to Dyer's,
but it is also the 4 kills that they now have on the board. So they put themselves on the board with a Vengeance. Of course, they contract the Vengeance aura for a short amount of time, but only one surviving is Monkeys Forever on this top lane. Sitting with a nice Boreal watch set, by the way. Again, paging Feeder Noob if you've got any comments. I am very inept when it comes to cosmetics, but Root is going to make his way up to the top lane. Because he's got that Midas, he wants to try to farm up as much as possible. Mask of Madness, though, finished by the Drow. Instead of going for the Blink build and going for the attack speed build, and that's, again, you take a look, it's good lifesteal. It makes her really vulnerable so that if they are able to get that Blink out on the Beastmaster really soon, and they can catch her with that Mask of Madness, then she could end up being in a lot of trouble. But she is just going to go ahead, Monkeys Forever, resort to farming for the time being, and that's going to help them get some free gold. Bloody 9, meanwhile, could just drop here. Root, actually just going to be Derp to grab that kill. A spare auto attack flying through, finding that last hit, and didn't catch the teamfight recap for the last one, but I imagine it was pretty scary. In fact, I can take a look at the graph, and yeah, 3,000 gold in XP lead, going all the way up to about 1,000. Now we're up to 0 in experience from that Visage kill. And Space, well, he realizes that maybe he should play it a little bit safe now. Going to go to farming the Ancients. Only has a stack on those. They didn't stack it any more than that one we saw Bloody 9 get immediately as the game started. So that is going to be a little bit less gold than he wants. Just going to mosey around the map right now so to get a bit of a lull. Relic has jumped up on the last hit chart, by the way. Speaking of, Monkeys Forever has 85 last hits at 10.5 minutes, now 11 minutes with almost 90. This is exceptional farm. And, you know, a Drow free farming like this is really scary. I think we've seen it happen time and time again with popular players. And I Annihilate's going to go down. They will spend all of their ultimates on him, and it will be the kill. Now Big Bad Bird comes in, gets a little bit cocky with his Wave of Terror, gets immediately turned around on, and now with the Degen Aura, they will clean him right up. But Relic in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to pop his ultimate. He's going to get a double off, and it goes out onto Space. He's still alive. They've got the full-on repel, and now Bloody 9 could be dead. Oh, no. In comes Drow with the Mask of Madness and move speed. It could be enough. Can he catch up? It looks like he's going to go around for the juke. Fan of Soyan doesn't have quite enough money for the Purify, and Monkeys Forever doesn't read it right. He saw his ultimate, he saw his, what is it, marksmanship go down, and he still didn't pursue. Instead, he wants the easy kill on the Fan of Soyan. Root Gaming got to turn around with the Wraithfire Blast. He doesn't have Reincarnate, so this is just a death coming out from him, but...
Radiant's top tower's in bad
Relic!
shape.
Oh, man!
Invisibility.
I just kind of want to soak it in really quick on this guy. He's
Radiant's
6-1.
toughened
He
up their
died
structures.
pretty early on,
Trouble
but now
brewing
has
at
made
Radiant's
an
bottom
incredible
tower.
comeback, is fielding a mechanism. 12.5 minutes, he
Radiant
gave
lost
away
one of them
first
bottom
blood,
towers.
and he's got Tread's mechanism
Dire's
and
mid
looking
tower
very
could use a
close,
little
more than
help.
halfway to
Can't
his
do nothing about
BKB.
Dire's structures
He is
right
doing
now.
incredibly well. We take a look at his net worth. He is the highest on the board by a landslide. Last hits, only second. Again, despite the fairly poor start he had, so... Again, just a quick clarifier on this game is Whreck while whistling versus they've got the tag as Black Sheep, but they are in CEVO officially. Teamwork makes the dream work, and I've got them labeled as kind of a ragtag team, showing up with a fairly different lineup each and every time, but have pretty star-studded, consistent players. I and I are going to go for a very long static link off into Derp, and we'll end up getting the kill from the vision of the plasma field, and that'll be a nice kind of consolation prize for this past couple of fights that they've had, but certainly doesn't show given the amazing start that I thought they had initially. So there's a 3-man push committed to this mid lane. They don't quite have immediate slows or stuns right now except for Wraithfire Blast, but they're not able to get the distance for that. And a rotation comes out from Big Bad Bird and Monkeys Forever. Monkeys opting to go a long way, but they've got to smoke. Maybe they go for Roshan here. As, yep, they most certainly can. Monkeys Forever picking up a blink, so he did go Mask of Madness, and he also went for a blink. Shadow Fiend finding a tower. Do they know this is going on? It looks like Derp making his way down. Could end up getting himself caught with his pants down, but this Roshan is just going to go down with the minus armor and the incredible amount of damage coming out not only from the birds, but Drow and Venge herself. They will clean up a quick and easy Roshan. Will it be enough? Maybe. A Dranegus on the Drow is really good, but a Drow fighting alone cannot win the team fight. If they're able to pick her off and pick off the rest of her team while she respawns, she's not going to be able to do anything but die again. So positioning is a huge part of this game for the Drow Ranger, but I have no doubt that she will be able to position herself in the best way possible with that Blink Dagger. If she goes down to the... goes down with the Aegis, she'll just be able to blink herself right out if she's got a bad position. So, Monkeys Forever, I trust his ability with this hero. We'll have to see. He's continuing to farm up really quickly, having an incredible amount of last hits. And his net worth approaching the top, though, falling quickly behind Relic, who, again, is all farming almost equally as well.
The Dire might want to mine
Only
that
9
top
last hits
tower.
behind when he was, I think, just 5 minutes ago, close to 20 to 30 last hits behind. So, yeah, net worth is what we're going to be really watching from this point on. As Relic, he is the strand of their team to do work. As Fan of Soyan probably just going to die up straight up here. The slow a little bit too much to deal with. Monkeys Forever going to find a quick and easy
Radiant's mid
tower.
tower ain't doing so good.
As Whreck while whistling, don't want to go ahead and initiate on into this one just yet. I Annihilate, speaking of, is really strong, really tanky, 1,500, 1,600 near hit points with drums, treads, and almost a BKB. He's going to be really hard to deal with in these fights. They're relying on Relic to get the damage out and clean him quickly. Now, Relic does have close to 200 damage, and the minus armor from Presence of the Dark Lord will help out a lot, but we'll have to see. I'm a Sheep sucks. Gonna go on to Bloody 9. Then they're just gonna spend 2 ultimates and clean him up. Kind of the same treatment they gave to Derp just a second ago. I'm a Sheep sucks gonna TP himself out immediately, fearing the Drow Ranger. And well, Monkey's Forever going to back himself off, not wanting to initiate into Relic. This is his one bane right now, as the mechanism with that extra armor already sitting on just 12 passive armor is going to make him very, very hard to bring down. Root Gaming and Fan of Sorion going to make a expedition through their jungle. The ping comes out, though, with this nice aggressive ward placed by Teamwork, and that's going to mean Razor knows exactly what's going on. He's not going to end up going down here. Root Gaming does have Reincarnate up Fan of Soyon with 4 points and Purify. We'll be able to do a significant amount of pure burst damage, but finding that opening to get it off is going to be the hard part here. He's building a Force Staff. He's going to have that out really soon, and that's going to help him a lot getting that position. But he might be in a lot of trouble as Space makes his way in, Monkey's Forever as well, and there's nothing he could do. They clean him up immediately. Again, this ward coming out from Teamwork is paying dividends. And Tidehunter with the Blink Dagger. What
has made its final delivery.
Dire's Courier, carrying what I imagine would be Drow Ranger's Yasha, sitting at 2050 gold, about the cost of, well, a Yasha. So that is pretty big, as well as not being able to bring items out. 2050 is a huge amount of gold to just throw that down the drain. And it looks like it's going to be a tier 2 for tier 2 trade. Glyph being spent on one front. It looks like they're not going to spend it on their bottom tier 2. And the TPs come in. Now they have to back themselves off. Maybe a Glyph would have been the smarter thing to spend here, but they're not going to get it. Space comes in with the Ravage, and Lincoln's Repeater is down. The Blink now working itself out. I think he TP'd to like the top tier 2 to get in there that quickly. So bottom lane, Root looks to go on to Big Bad Bird, but in comes Monkey's Forever. There's a Reincarnate onto Root Gaming, so he'll be able to come right back. But with what? Immediately Silas now Phantasorian. He's going to go ahead and throw a Repel. Swap out Big Bad Bird. Going to go ahead and save Monkey's Forever's life for now, but a Guardian Angel comes down. Now Root going to look for the stun. Blinks ahead a little bit too far, but not going to juke out successfully. Monkey's Forever actually will blink himself away. Finally, they pop the Primal Roar, and this should be the takedown. But can they get it quick enough? Derp will take an auto attack, a straight auto attack. In comes Eye Annihilate, though, with an Eye of the Storm. And now Phantasorian going to have to back himself out of this one. But can he get away with Repel? Isn't going to help him versus this Eye of the Storm. And now might start brocking onto him. Will pop out a Plasma Field. One more auto attack is all it's going to take, and it will be enough. Derp in a lot of trouble, though. He's going to go ahead and pop a Hex on Annihilate to slow things down, but Monkey's Forever turning on to Lincoln's Repeater. Relic in a lot of trouble. I'm a Sheep sucks as well. Now Relic popping the ulti, but only catching Monkey's Forever on the treat. But Root Gaming gonna blink in, pop the Wraithfire Blast, and that will be enough to clean up Monkey's Forever, making it a 1-for-1 trade so far. But a very effective one at that, as Whreck while whistling comes out heavily on top. They spend a lot more, but 1,000 experience going their way with close to 500. He's surpassing 500 gold and swing there. So we're sitting at 11-9 at 20 minutes, about a kill per minute right now. Roshan going to be coming back up 2 minutes plus a randomized timer. Phantasorian and Lincoln's Repeater making their way up top, and their target can only be
Dire's top tower.
the Big Bad Bird.
You know the drill.
Not quite sure if they can go for this one, though. And the Courier going to be coming back up really soon. That'll be the Yasha back and available. Yeah, that was Monkey's Forever Yasha, so that finally comes online, only delayed by a little bit of time. Did he have enough gold to purchase? I don't think so. He died in that last fight, so he wouldn't be able to find his full Manta style, not just yet. But things going back to a little bit of a passive state right now, as I'm a Sheep sucks content to farm the Ancient. And this is actually some really good play coming out from Beastmaster. I haven't talked about this much, but he's sitting 2-0 right now. 7 assists, been on point with each and every one of his Primal Roars, knowing exactly which target to hit it on, not wasting it too early in a team fight. And he is just doing absolute work right now, helping his team through a very difficult mid-game as it stands. And again, we talked about that Blink Dagger timing coming from him. That is going to make Monkeys Forever a huge target, as even with a BKB, which it doesn't look like he's going to be building out now, but he may have to, just based on the follow-up stuns they have. This Drow could just pop in no time at all. And with Drow dead, I mean, sure, you have to worry about the Razors and the Visages and the Tide Ravage as huge examples, but their damage gets pretty much cut in two, though not that extreme. It's a very apparent effect that you start to feel, especially when the Visage Birds, after hitting a couple of times, just seem to lose their luster. And speaking of the Visage Birds, we're going to have an Aghanim Scepter coming out. It's about 1,200 gold off, and he's farming really effectively right now. Going to be taking a couple of jungle camps just to get that extra gold out and about, which leaves Monkeys Forever to go to lane and farm those up. And I mean, he's in no real trouble. He's being backed up by the big bad bird, which leads me to believe that they're not worried about their positioning at all. Fanasoyon looking to just stack up these Ancients for I'm a Sheep Sucks, who is kind of making his stand in the enemy jungle, not really fearing much again, but Plasma Field will scout him out, or at least he was scouted out by this now defensive ward. Again, great vision just coming out from Teamwork Makes a Dream Work. They're really playing this one incredibly well, and I gotta hand it to them. They are holding their own versus a team that, by all means, if anyone else were to look at this team, they'd probably just say, I mean, there's no shot. But again, I go back to my stance in the draft. If there's any team that I feel confident to match up against this Teamwork Makes a Dream Work lineup, it is Whreck while whistling. And I mean, of course, there are other teams in the league that are able to hold their own, but I mean, Whreck is a very talented team in their own respect. Just updating the teams on their next game, as we will have eHug versus Union Gaming coming up right after this match, and that is going to be one to watch as well. Pretty much we're starting today with a huge couple of games. I mean, these are star-studded casts with really great players. So going back on into the game, though, this is CEVO Season 6, Week 2, Day 2, Game 1 of the night. 4 games going to be played today. I go over all of them, but that may just, you'll see all of them come up pretty soon when I go into the outgame after this game. We'll talk about it a little after this game as well, but we are in this game fully invested as Beastmaster. Well, he's going to have his Necronomicon level 1 finished and very close to upgrading that to a level 2.
Roche won't be
As Drow Ranger going to find a Roshan. That is a good Aegis. I mean, Aegises are really, really good for this Drow Ranger. Again, she just dies so damn quick when you figure out the amount of lockdown that Whreck while whistling has on her, and they can just go in and take her out. If she doesn't have an Aegis, she's gone. And I talked about that, where their damage just gets completely nerfed without this Drow Ranger. So now that she's got an Aegis, she'll be able to come right back on into the game and, I mean, have no problems at all getting this one going. So they're going to group themselves up and maybe look to break the high ground. This is a very ambitious push, by the way, coming from Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. If they can push up to the high ground and take this tower, even take a Rax, it would be huge. But the Burrs take a huge amount of damage from the Whirling Axes. This is an Axe, by the way, finished up on I Annihilate, so this tower is dropping really quick. They're going to pop themselves a Glyph and pop the birds down. If they can clean up at least 2 of these birds, it could be very difficult. These are fresh birds, and they will go ahead and grab one of them. Maybe they get the second. No. So there's only 2 birds, one very low, another with a little bit of damage done to it. So with the birds down at a very respectable amount of damage. Hold on, Root Gaming is just going to go right in on to Annihilate. Eye of the Storm is down, but Root goes down immediately. They do have a Reincarnate. He comes back. Linkage Repeater. Relic popping the ultimate. And that was a 4-staff right through the center. Guardian Angel will be spent, and they will bring down Monkeys forever. Chasing Ionite on the backgrounds is Root, and it looks like their target will be Monkeys. Can they go ahead and clean him up? 50 seconds on the Primal Roar. They don't quite have a stun, but a Blink Dagger is available on Root. He's got a Mask of Madness popped, and he's going to run himself away. But they clean up space, and, well, only a one-man down fight, but that really shows a lot to the fervor of Whreck while whistling. And, of course, they spend a couple of ultimates on that one, so without Guardian Angel, this is a pretty good amount of time, a pretty good window of time for Teamwork Makes the Dream Work to just go ahead and push again as Reincarnate's down and Guardian Angel is down. So I'm a Sheep Sucks going to take some damage from Monkeys Forever. He's trying to TP away, but he's gone. He's dead. Crazy damage coming out from Monkeys Forever.
Towers getting beat down. No breaking
Ripping
through
through
the structures for
the
now.
Beastmaster's HP pool and armor. Now Space goes in right behind, is trying to find Linkage Repeater Relic. They're going to go ahead and pop Purify onto him now with a Repel. Monkeys Forever goes in for the silence. Only hits on Thanasoyan, but it's not going to make too much of a difference. This is where things get rough, though, as Relic going to have to TP himself out, taking a huge static link. So they're going to just have to disengage off that one. Derp gets himself away, though, with a Blink Dagger of his own. Blink Gaming coming out. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Blink Daggers finished. This is a butterfly finished onto Relic, by the way. 1,800 gold. His net worth is just through the roof. Still topping out everyone on Teamwork Makes the Dream Work, which is a very good stat in of itself, and especially in this game. We talk about this hero that, again, just gave away first blood and seemed to have a very difficult early lane. Derp, Relic and Root on the hunt. Their target, Monkeys Forever. He does not have Aegis anymore. He's going to walk right up onto the high ground, into them. Can they clean him up? They miss the, he gets the blink away, but it's not going to be enough. The Hex comes out onto him, and he just gets cleaned. Relic will find that kill. And not even, no crits, just a regular auto attack damage coming out from him spawns that red number, just huge amounts. And 60 seconds in the sideline with no buyback halts the farm of Monkeys Forever for a good chunk of time, allowing Relic the chance to just accelerate that much further past. Now, they can't break the high ground just yet. They can't really do much off of this win or off of this pick-off, but they're going to surely make as much of an impact when it comes to pushing lanes as possible. So we have a rotation coming out, Annihilate in space. They're looking to return the favor on I'm a Sheep Sucks, and he'll go down, but a solo kill onto the Beastmaster is not as high a priority as your Drow. Now, he's down for 50 seconds, though. So, and when it comes down to losing your supporting cast, that is just as effective. As we take a look.
Gold for me.
We're going to have an extra minute and a half on the randomized timer. It said 5.5 minutes. We've got 4 on the regular countdown for Roshan. So with 5.5 minutes to go, I think Teamwork, they're just going to wait for their next Aegis. They're in no hurry to just push this one out. And that's a pretty big problem for Whreck because they are defending themselves really easily. But for how long can they do that? Relic is a very good... is a very far ahead Shadow Fiend, but it just begs the question, how long can he stand up to Black Sheep or Teamwork Makes a Dream Work, especially if we can have a Monkey King Bird coming out from Monkeys Forever, who is going for a BKB right now, by the way. But do they have anywhere close to something along the lines of a Hex? It looks like they don't, so for now, his evasion's going to be a little bit more than they bargained for, but I don't know. Dealing with this butterfly is going to be the difficult part, especially with his BKB online. They can't exactly do too much to him. I mean, BKB only 8, okay, I say only 8 seconds. It's still an 8-second BKB. They really are in no trouble right now. Maybe in 20 minutes when the MKBs come out, the hexes come out, but I Annihilate in a lot of trouble. They're going to go in immediately, hex him up, and he's just gone. A mega kill spree onto his name too, so this is a dominating going the way of Whreck and the extra influx of gold, sitting at 4,900, 5,300 now, and maybe they just go for it. Right here, right now, trying to take a racks for themselves. With I Annihilate down, no buyback on his part. Let's take a look at the buybacks across the field. And only buybacks are on Whreck and on Derpter, both belonging to Whreck while whistling. So if they go up and they win a team fight right here, they can actually just win the game. And they're gonna go for it. Tier 3's taking a lot of damage, already at about half HP. Monkey's waiting for when he needs to initiate here, but a Necronomicon will go up. Just giving 150 free gold to Monkeys forever. And Linkage Repeater sitting on the high ground with a repel, but they want to be careful. This swap could mean the end of Whreck, and they back themselves off. Maybe they check for Roshan here because the timer is going to go out right now, but it's a minute 30 after this Roshan, so or after this regular timer.
Could use a hand.
Oh, 2 minutes 40. Ah, the initial timer lied to me. Either way, bottom tier 3 or top tier 3 taking a little bit of damage. Pretty comparable to the damage that the top tier 3 took. As more Roshan scouting coming out, they're going to go ahead and kill the boar. This is very close to max time, which is difficult for teamwork because they want to go ahead and grab this Aegis and try to win the game. If Whreck can find another pickoff, this could spell disaster. And oh, the birds, they're gone. 300 damage just going the way of Whreck. Nearly immediately. 6,600 gold. What's his next item? He's setting it to the secret shop. Oh, dear Lord. I'm actually scared. He's got 6,600 gold with going to the secret shop with no other items bought. Is this? No, it can't be. It's not. Demon Edge, he's going MKB or Daedalus. Probably the latter. So that's going to help out his raw damage output. In fact, you know, at this point, I think the crits will mean a lot more than a rapier. It's free. Oh, it is MKB. Is there a No, there's no butterfly finish, no evasion. He goes MKB, maybe anticipating the butterfly coming out from Drow, as she's sitting on 20 or 2,000 gold. So I don't know. Crits may have been the better option here, but he doesn't know that. At this moment, he's fearing the Drow's farm, and I would too if I were in his position. So grabbing that MKB pretty much prepares him for the future, as he's got a haste rune bottled up. He's not afraid at all, but this is the big item coming out, and leave it to Universe to find the items at proper timing. And, well, with Universe, that Refresher's Orb, the Watermelon holding the Watermelon, they're going to smoke themselves up, and they want to fight. They're feeling rather pugnacious right now. First, they're going to check Roche. It's going to still be down for another 30, 20 seconds. And they make their way in. A blind initiation. Can they go for it? They've got no wars. They've got no vision. But they know, generally, Root Gaming spotted out, swapped back. Now Grave Chill. They're going to go ahead and grab some damage with him. Can he stay alive for the full duration of the stack click? In comes Ravage #1, but Whreck was ready. Pops his ultimate onto I Annihilate. He's taking way too much damage. He's down. Linkage Repeater turning on the Universe. He goes down as well, not even able to pop out his second ultimate. And Whreck trying to chase for more, but they can't quite find it. And would you talk about timing? As Roshan is back up, ready to go. Oof. This is an absolute disaster for Teamwork Makes the Dream Work, as again, they come into this game looking strong. Great EG-style draft. But the execution is purely up to Whreck while whistling. And they've delivered. Now with an Aegis on to to Relic. This guy is looking really strong. Just needs to pop up the high ground. There's no buyback on Annihilate or Universe, but they're back up in a very short amount of time. And they're going to make their way to the bottom. They already know the tier 3 is very low. Annihilate's back up. Root Gaming is already up onto the high ground, though. They're wasting no time, sparing no expense. Ranged racks nearly down. They're going to pop a glyph. Big Bad Bird is looking for the swap, and I'm sure they're going to try to find it. Monkeys Forever is waiting. Going to go ahead. Only gets the silence onto Root. Relic, though, going to take a static link, and now he's trying to run away, but he can't quite get away from it. Now he gets away. Sits with a fairly good amount of HP, but he's dropping very low. In comes Universe with the Ravage in the back lines. He hits more than just 4. He hits 4. Now the Reincarnate coming back from both Relic and Root Gaming, and he's going to go ahead, pop out the ultimate. Requiem of Souls, giving him a wicked 6 free, and Annihilate going to be the next one to go. Oh, Root Gaming going to find that kill. I'm a Sheep Sucks getting Vengeful Spear in the background with Universe barely getting himself away. Monkeys Forever on the run, and he's not able to go down yet. They're going to pop the Manta Style to keep him alive for the short amount of time. Repel going out into Root keeps him alive for the short time that you guys got hit with the Ice Frost arrows, and one set of racks gone. Big Bad Bird has a buyback. Annihilate, though, still lacking on it, and backdoor protection is up. Creep waves are all pushed out, so they can't push for any more than this one racks. But whew, that was a pretty huge fight going the way of Team Whreck while whistling. Talk about a tongue twister. As well, crazy stuff coming out. Looking at some of the items coming out, 6,700 gold again. This time go for the Daedalus. Like, I can't imagine any other item coming out for him. Maybe we see the Rapier come out, but I wouldn't get too excited about it. Derp still sitting on what we saw him pretty far long ago, but he's got 1,400 gold, so looking decent. Level 3 Necronomicron out on Beastmaster with a Gem of True Sight. He sees everything. Between the birds, the True Sight, Phantom Soyon with that Aghanim Scepter, the Global Guardian Angel. Root, Blink, Abyssal, Assault Cuirass. And, well, last but not least, Shadow Fiend, who went for the Satanic Boots of Travel. He is now officially 6-slotted, maybe 5.5, possibly able to get rid of that mechanism for another damage item. I would imagine that's the next thing to go, but meanwhile, our items, Assault Cuirass was finished by Annihilate, but it's not really helping him versus the Assault and the presence of the Dark Lord from Whreck while whistling. He's got a BKB Ags up, but not really in the ballpark for refreshers. Blade 9 with that Aghanim Scepter been up for a while. Looking at Plate Mail, maybe a Shiva's Guard going to be coming out fairly soon for him. 2,700 gold for the Mystic Staff plus 600 for the recipe. Vengeful, Big Bad Bird's got that Force, as well as Universe, but he's also got Refresher, Blink Dagger, and now the push down mid coming out for the Whreck while whistling. They're looking to try to clean this up right now, but speaking of, Universe going to find a double Ravage. They clean up Derp, but Relic, he pops a Satanic, doesn't even have Satanic yet. It's still in the works for him, but they're going to go ahead and clean up Monkeys Forever, and that's about it. He's got no buyback at all. Annihilate probably just going to drop right now with the Abyssal. The bash is too much. No buyback onto him. Relic turning around, goes for the racks, but instead going to find Bloody 9. Maybe, I don't know what he's doing. He's just kind of jamming it out on the buildings. While Root Gaming is having a ball behind the lines. 3 down, no buyback, and GG comes out from the Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. An upset? Maybe.
That's a win for the Radiant.
But what is true about this is, well, Whreck while whistling brought their A game. And it certainly was enough. So, great win to them. We are quickly transitioning in onto our next game. That's E-Hug versus Union Gaming. So stick around. More CEVO. Season 6, Week 2, Day 2 will be coming up next.